Morning, guys. All hear me okay? Morning, Tim. So many lovely, friendly faces in the morning. So I've been told to speak about the future of technology, or whatever that means. We haven't got a crystal ball, but we track things. Let me tell you who I am and who I work for. I'm Jamie Vaughan. I'm the head of European sales for Cvent. You don't know Cvent? We're one of the large guys who do the entire event platform. We have a stand over there. Come and find us after. I'm going to start with a short video. Hopefully this will make you laugh a little bit.
Oh, it's so nice to all be sitting down together. You can tell me something I did today.
I drew a horsey.
Good for you, son.
I started smoking.
I love you too, sweetheart.
I'm selling bongs out of our minivan.
I got a tramp stamp.
I'm getting implants.
I'm dating your brother.
Uh-huh.
I'm cooking meth in the basement.
Great idea, kiddo. That's why you're so popular at school.
Okay, so I hope that doesn't offend anyone, but it's probably a reflection of how we live today, right? And one of the elements I want to try and tackle today is technology is great, it's changed behaviour, but is it an encouragement, an event, or is it maybe a distraction? Is it there for a purpose, or is it there just because it's there? So some of the things I'll try and touch on today is how technology may hopefully improve your engagement within an event. A short agenda. By the way, I've got 25 minutes, so I'm delivering a presentation that takes an hour. So I want to talk really quick and really fast paced, lots of pictures, lots of videos, try and keep up. It's relatively light-hearted, and I'm trying to think about how things that are in the pipeline may well come into our world and make a difference to the and what this reflects is the journey of an attendee. So the tech I touch on will be the elements that an attendee may touch on during his or her journey. So we start at travel. I've got a bunch of slides here about how travel may affect and influence and improve an attendee's journey. There are apps in development right now, we know, where they're aggregating lines and queues within airports. So you know your checkout terminal, you know your gate number, and it will actually tell you how long it will take you to get through that process. We've all been sitting in airport terminals far too long in our lives. So anything that I think can improve this process is going to be a good thing. This is in conceptual stage, but we know vendors are looking at this quite closely right now, and like Street Mapper in London, it gives you some amazing information about real-time traffic flow within an airport. This rather clever device.
What you need to do is place your bag on the belt. Then what you have to do is scan your boarding pass with the hand scanner. The robot will print the bag tags. You have to put it on your bag. The door will close, and then the robot will print a bag tag receipt. Once the bag tag receipt is printed, then the robot will leave.
Robots, they're going to be everywhere, right? So this is actually a real thing. It's been trialled in Geneva. The baggage control comes to find you. Instead of you trying to hang out in a massive queue, waiting in line, this will come and find you based on an app or a sensor, put your bag in, get on with your life. Sounds lovely to me. Dubai. In Dubai right now today, they have a trial of what they're calling Easy Pass, which is a virtual walkway that will actually look at your facial structure and your retina for recognition, so it identifies who you are to go through customs. And they're already looking at body scanning. So the theory is it'll be a complete motion of check-in. No queuing, just walking straight through, unless of course they tackle you because there's a problem. But this is in play right now. The travel market is looking at ways to ease the flow onto the travel process. Let's assume you're through checkout, you're at your vehicle. There's a few things here.
An efficient journey that's never delayed or overbooked. Hyperloop is the first new form of public transportation in over 100 years. Fundamentally, it will change the way we travel, work, and live. Welcome to the future.
Hyperloop One, you've all heard, it's a real thing. Virgin doing one as well. An approximate travel time of 700 miles per hour, linking key cities and key destinations, which is obviously going to cut down travel time. Linked with Boom, which is a supersonic airline that's underway now, it's under construction. Estimated flight speeds of an average of 1,451 miles per hour. Okay, so they're looking at ways to get you through checkout and then get to your destination. What does that matter to the event industry? Well, it matters a lot, because let's assume in an ideal world you have an amazing conference in Paris and your after-party drinks is tapas in Barcelona. That's a real thing. That can be a real thing if they speed up the process, allow you to flow through in numbers and get to your destination quickly. So again, there are real implications to some of these elements in the event industry. Uber Copter, anyone seen this before? No, I have. I went to an event in Cannes Lions a couple of years ago when Uber was on strike on the ground, and they put on 25 helicopters. And you order it from your Uber app, and you see the helicopters flying over the sea, and they fly from one place to another. It's a real thing that they do, which is kind of crazy. There aren't many in London, but again, it's how the industry is looking at how they can improve your ability to get from destination to destination. So the travel industry is becoming quite focused on technology. You've got there, you're tired, you want to get to your hotel, even though you've got there in 20 minutes. Let's assume you're still tired. There are lots of things in hotel and hospitality now that are looking to improve your digital experience. This is a hotel in China, owned by Alibaba, where you literally walk into the room. The room is your check-in. While you walk in, it recognizes your face. It goes through a retinal scanner. It knows who you are. It checks you into your room. It takes you to the floor. It confirms the information with your mobile app, gives you a room number. You walk to your room and the door opens. I'm not sure I'm a fan of cutting out human interaction. I'll come on to that later. But again, it's about efficiency. It's about the lengths that people are now going to bring technology into this world. If anyone was at the award ceremony last night, any hands from the award ceremony? No? One. You don't look as tired as me. It was a late night. There was a robot whizzing around giving glasses of champagne. Okay, well, you know these things are there. It kept bumping into me. I didn't want any champagne, so not ideal, but hospitality is looking at ways where you can have a concierge service to order food from an app, and something other than the human will bring this information or this food to you. I think this is pretty obvious. Not sure how great it's going to be, but it's something we're being told is going to be improving. I'm not sure you've seen this video before.
Inspiration can strike me at any time.
Crazy. Apparently, statistically, 51% of business travelers have great ideas in the shower. Who'd have known? This is the way where you can press the screen, it prints it out for you. I think that's kind of crazy, but there we are. Again, something that's up there, and as I said, a bit light-hearted. A lot of this information, a lot of this technology will never come to anything, but it's good that the market is thinking of different ways to help us in our journey. This one I like. A vending machine to do your dry cleaning in a hotel. How amazing. Without a crazy price. Hang your shirt, hang your suit, ready in 7 minutes. Now, I think that's marvelous, so I'd use that a lot. Again, these are in place right now. These are in many venues around the world. So the hotel industry is very much looking at technology for the transient traveller. You're not there long, you're there for a day. I stayed in my hotel about 4 hours last night, and I checked out this morning. So sometimes you need some help in that process. Now we get into this sort of world, on-site technology. There's so much happening. I've had to cut these slides down quite a lot. I want to touch on the things that I think are quite important. Your typical check-in process, this is Cvent, this is some of the stuff we do. You've seen everyone doing this sort of thing, but where is it going? We've all heard about facial recognition. It's here, we do it, we've done it. Most of the vendors would have played with it in some part. It's not been 100% accurate right now, which is why it's not hit the mainstream. It's quite expensive, but it's very, very much coming our way. Apparently, the Tokyo Olympics 2020 have total facial scanning on entry. They're trying to remove a ticketing process. I think they will still have tickets, but they are facial recognizing everyone on entry, which is an interesting concept. Facial sentiment. I'm looking around right now and seeing people dozing, so I better up my ante slightly. I'm joking. But there is technology that will read your facial expression and give me a mood counter. It'll help me understand how I can improve, how I can relate my content to the audience in front of me. There was a school in China that didn't get great press, it was banned, but they were analysing the facial expressions of their classroom children, which is a bit controversial, but they wanted to improve the education. If the kids were bored, they're not going to learn. So they're trying to understand the facial sentiment of the children in the classroom, which is actually quite a cool use, but contravenes every data privacy law that's out there. But there are some challenges, but disruptive technology has to bring the technology first, then we manage how to use it after. Chatbots. they are a real thing. These are not real people. This is the ability to write into some digital technology a question or ask something, and it will give you an answer based on artificial intelligence or machine learning. I used to work for a company, in fact, that did this at a show called South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. A couple of years ago, the chatbot was called Abby, because that's a male and female name. They wanted a gender-free name. And Abby fielded 56,000 questions over 3 days. Which is a lot of questions. The most common question was, are you real? Which is another thing. But the notion of a chatbot is not going away because it's an efficient and effective way to communicate with your audience. We've also seen push notifications. They're everywhere. This is a slightly different angle on a push.
When connected to any screen, the display will show personalized content based on people's presence and behavior. For example, in an airport, displays will show information tailored specifically to each traveler's itinerary.
Okay, so in essence, I walk up to a screen, it's not showing me generic information, it's showing me information about me, about my journey, about my itinerary. So it knows it's me, it knows it's Jamie, it's providing me information that's going to make my journey easier. I think that's kind of smart, rather than just a general advertising board. Now, all this information relies on screens and screen technology. This is also changing. I think screens are getting bigger, they're getting broader, they're getting used more. And why should we restrict it to a small screen now? And again, the bigger the screen, the more opportunity there is to engage with it and provide us more information. So I think, well, the Samsung Foldable is actually in production, is coming out now. The Apple one was a concept that was delivered about a year ago, everyone laughed, and I think they're actually toying with bringing it to market quite soon. So we'll look out for that technology. Voice. Voice is amazing. If there's any planners in the room that don't use voice, then you should. There are 1 billion, currently 1 billion voice searches per month. Yeah, Alexa, Siri, etc. By 2020, they predict 20% of all internet searching will be by voice. Okay, so why would you, in fact, we have figures that, in events where they've used voice activation control units on stands where delegates go up and ask it a question. And it just gives you a preset answer. Where's the coffee? Where's the toilets? How do I find this organizer? Whatever it may be. So voice is absolutely something you should consider for your future events. Then we have content. One of the reasons you come to an event. There are many ways you can deliver content. I like this slide, it's what I'm doing now. So we have silent, the notion of silent conferences, but more important, this one, native language conferences. There is technology, there's an app out there right now called, what's this one called? Oh, wrong slide, beg your pardon. Appio, I think it is. Beg your pardon, Interacto. It will recognize your native voice and convert it to the language of choice, driven by the operator. So I could be talking at an event now in Japan, and any nation in the world can actually interpret the voice. This has been happening in the UN and the big global bodies all the time. This is now an automated way of doing that. It's live, it's probably a bit slow, but I think it will be improved quite soon to deliver really, really smart content. Silent conferences is what we're doing right now. This has been around for a while. It's pretty good because no one else should be able to hear me, although I'm quite loud, but they should not be able to be bothered by what I'm saying. But take it to one stage further. This is an event that was in Las Vegas where they had a circular stage where there are 7 presenters all presenting at the same time, and the audience could tune in or tune out to their content of choice. So if they chose to sit somewhere and then regret that decision, they can flip to the speaker next to them. It might be more impressive. Actually quite a cool idea. Very efficient, very effective, and a great use of existing technology. Immersion is used everywhere. This is screen immersion. I mean, they're great pictures, they're kind of crazy, but we're seeing more and more events where the technology now is coming to a point where you can deliver so much content, and it's not just about a single screen. There is so much content you can deliver. This is great for e-gaming and gaming events, as you can see, very cool, but there are a lot of practical business applications where this is useful. VR, AR, we've talked about them forever. They're still not everywhere. They're still not where we should see them, but they're pretty cool. You get the point. This is the Facebook activation, I believe it was, where you're using a badge to bring things to life. I just think it's a matter of time we saw more of this. Maybe it's down to the user, down to the equipment, the devices, wearables I've not talked about, but they're going to bring certain things to life. But it's a technology that's using more. We're seeing increased usage in AR and VR. Motion capture, again, maybe a gimmick right now, but we've seen many events where they've had big walls that is imitating the motions of the delegates. This is quite useful if you're using motion to collect information. If you remember Minority Report, bringing stuff around your hands, it's all available now. It's quite expensive, so it's not everywhere. But again, I think it's a market, an element of technology to watch out for. Wayfinding. The notion of wayfinding is very simple because we do it every day when we use Google Maps, but it doesn't work inside. So internal wayfinding hasn't quite got it yet. I noticed there are eye beacons all around this hall, so if someone's doing something here, I must find out what it is. So there are ways of trying to capture your signal when you're in a building to steer you around a temporary structure. There's some words in that statement that's why it's difficult, temporary structures and all this and the other. But it's here, it works, I've used it, I've done it, it's pretty good, it's fairly accurate, but I think it's going to be getting easier with modern technology and the strength of devices that people have. That opens up other things. If I know who you are, and I know where you are, I can influence what you do. So things like networking based on algorithm-based matchmaking. So I'm at an event, the system knows where I am and who I am, it's telling me who I should spend time with. Now there's technology that does that anyway, but it isn't based on location. It's based on algorithm of who you are and what you are. So I think there's some interesting angles here, which I know there are some large vendors looking at right now. They're looking to bring elements of this to the market, which again, it's a bit big brotherish, but there's actually an efficiency that is achieved here you don't get by any other way. This is my favorite slide, the human Uber. Okay, so Uber and Airbnb, the notion of the sharing economy, sharing something you have. Who would have thought? This is a company that encourages you to share your body. I better explain that statement. So this is the notion of being able to hire somebody to be you, to go to an event on your behalf, okay? So you stick a funny screen on your face, and that screen then emulates you, because you're at home somewhere looking at a cam. So the chap with the glasses is at home, his screen's on somebody else's face, and it's voice activated. So he can go to somebody at a stand, engage with them, and ask them questions. And he can be anywhere in the world. Crazy? Yeah. Can you see it happening? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it is. But again, it's the way technologists will think about how they can get improvement and change behavior. Screenless. Too long. So screenless, again, we've seen wearables, we've seen Google Glass, we've seen enormous flops in this industry, in this market. Wearable technology is not going away. Many have Apple Watches, we have Fitbits. It's here to stay. The screenless element of wearable is going to hang around. They just have to find the right application because it gives you so much. There is a company in development in San Francisco that raised £1 billion, I read, that actually has a thin wire, like a glass frame, that projects into your iris, okay? So you're just looking and you have something in your interface, which is really scary, but again, it's the way the market's looking at how we can improve and behave better. Not events in our lives, but it affects events as well. 5G is coming, it's here, 100 times faster than 4G, okay? So the implications for you guys are immense because it allows you to do things like streaming media, video technology. An event like this, I can stream things to your phone. You can be somewhere else, I can stream things. It just makes life significantly easier, and it's only another way to underpin those devices you have in your hand. Okay, I've been told I'm running out of time, so I'm going to be really, really quick. Engagement tracking. A standard attendee journey. Many, many, many touch points. Of course, what's the point of this? The point of this is to give them a good experience, but also from a digital perspective to understand and to recall the information through those data points. The reason we want to do that is to give you an idea of how these will behave. So there's a notion we have called an engagement score, where we will be able to tell you how engaged your specific audiences are, right down to individuals, groups of individuals, demographics of individuals, against different types of content, different types of exhibitors. That is amazing. Because if you're an exhibitor, you want to be interacting with the right people. If you're organisers, you want to make sure the right people come into your hall. That is all based on how they engage and how they score for engagement scoring. So this is something that's now, and we are Cvent commercialising in a way to make sure the data journey is stronger. Because what you do with that data is bring it into your MarTech stack. Okay, so all the marketeers in the room want to make sure that there is an ROI, there's some way of tracking everything that's done from an audience engagement perspective. This now seamlessly comes straight into your Eloqua, Salesforce, etc. engines to make sure that you're speaking to the people at the right level about the right subjects. This, of course, then gives you attribution figures, ROI, ROE, and all these lovely acronyms that we don't know what they mean, but they're great. One of my last slides, because I know I'm out of time. Does this make events obsolete? Technology? Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. People are social beings. We love being with other people. It's never going to change. Birds of a feather flock together. We like to find our like-minded subject types. It's really important that we carry on talking to each other. Statistically speaking, events is the second most effective means of media in any business. It's behind a website, right? So events have to carry on. You guys have safe careers if you're in the event industry. And it's also that I was there, the opposite of the FOMO, right? You're creating experiences which you don't get virtually. So I think the thing about technology is ultimately to make the experience more efficient, more effective, more focused, more appropriate, but also to amplify the audience. Because you don't have to be here. It's correct to be here, but there are many scenarios where through live Zooming and live streaming, you can actually engage with speakers and with content, even if you can't make it to that room. Okay? Thank you. I am out of time. I've got time for questions? 2 questions, I've been told. So we have some questions here. What do you think the next thing in event tech is? I don't know why I chose the second question, the first one that jumped out at me. It's interesting, because I've shown some great things. I think facial recognition is probably, and iris scanning, identity. Digital identity is becoming more accurate, more cost effective, and it's obvious, right? We go to the airport, we don't think twice about getting our face scanned to go through passport control. Why wouldn't we do that in an event? Why wouldn't we do that in any turnstile at a football stadium or a Fira in Barcelona or Excel in London? Why wouldn't we do that? So I think that's coming very, very soon. First question, I'm not going to read it, but it says, is it going to make a big difference? Yeah, I don't know. It is going to be really expensive, it's not going to be affordable, and the travel time is cut down to a very short length of time, but getting through all the process of getting into that plane is going to be laborious. So I don't know, but the notion of improving the speed of travel is definitely coming our way. We are going to be getting from A to B quicker, and the implications for events are, as I mentioned earlier, you can really open up the spectrum of venues based on your travel time. Okay, I've been told time's out. Thank you very much for your time. If there's questions asked here, I can answer them after 3 mil. Thank you very much.